make sure my mic was working. Hold on. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Hello. Alright, bet. I was making sure it was working, you know what I'm saying? I might have it like this. Or this way. I don't know. This shit gonna get on my fucking nerves. Yeah, I like it this way. I ain't gonna hold you. I like it. Yeah, right there, right there. Oh, no, no, no. Alright, bet. Put the game up. Alright. Oh, I was finna fuck up the intro. Hold on. Let me restart. What's good, y'all? It's Butterfly Mac, and we back. Yeah. So, this is from continuing what we spent last stream. Last stream, we spent this game. It's pretty good. It's pretty decent. Got 3 fine niggas that were introduced. I'm gonna tell you which one. I'm gonna let you know which one I like if he come back in the frame. But yeah. So right now, basically dad died. I'm taking over. Had to hush some niggas up, you know what I'm saying, just in case they wanted to snitch or some shit. Well, we got that situated. Well, yeah, that's what we doing now. Let's just get it started. Why is it acting up? Oh, that's fine. There we go. Okay, I was like, damn. So which one should I... It did the same thing? What was this one? Yeah, this one right here. This one I like. I ain't gonna hold you. This is my favorite one out of all. I ain't gonna hold you. Oh, hold on. Is it F11? Okay, man. Alright. Y'all ready? Alright, here we go. This is my first time ever meeting Theodore of Farum. I had heard him described as a cold, distant man, but I still didn't expect him to be so glacial. I waited for him to deem reply to my greetings as courtesy demanded, but the silence between us was deafening. He only stood there. Aw, see? Man, I'll have to say, fuck that nigga. He being disrespectful. Like, come on, bro. Staring at me impassive, without even so much as a good morning or a nice to meet you, while I had to keep smiling not to lose face. Weird ass nigga. I had better things to do than engage in a staring contest. I swallowed my pride and gestured to one of the chairs around the staff table where a large map of Claudia had been laid out. I imagine you must be tired after such a long trip. Please sit down. I thought he was going to stay standing there, but he did finally sit down without another word, while I took a seat not too far from him. Like I said in my letter, I like for the Turnfiddle and the Farum to reconcile. The tension between our families have lasted long enough, and I imagine your sudden desire to make peace has nothing to do with your upcoming coronation. The Montliet are eating out of your hand, but the Bolidor will never support you, which means you very much need us. Damn, he already peeped what we was trying to do. Coming as he was from a lineage of somewhat barbaric reputation, he had done a fairly clever analysis of the situation, but I didn't let that stop me. Very much need is a bit strong. Should I remind you that I have the support of the Order and, by extension, the Four? And the people will follow me. That said, I do wish for my coronation to go smoothly as possible, and the rest of my rule as well. I like to avoid bloodshed altogether if possible. I fear that the ancestral affinity between our two families might lead us to just that. Neither you nor what the fuck? Oh, this old ass English, bro. It's fucking me up. Neither you nor I were born in the firm revolt took place. It's up to us to decide if we want to stop the cycle of conflict or if we want to build something new. He took on a thoughtful expression and observed me with renewed interest. It's easy for you to forget. You're on the side of the victors. You haven't been rehashing your resentment for 20 years. Precisely. Wouldn't it be easier for you to forget as well, especially if it's been haunting you for that long? Even if even if we were inclined to consider your offer for a reconciliation, how would we trust you? I won't give you a history lesson, but that revolt didn't happen for nothing. He was following me exactly where I was leading, and it took me some effort to repress a smile and keep a business-like conscience. Firstly, I'm not the same person as my father nor grandfather. It's unfair to distrust me as a result of their actions. And secondly, I'm ready to make a gesture of goodwill if the firm are ready to make one as well. I'm listening. If you openly support my ascent to the throne, I'm ready to return your family the Frey Castle Citadel and the lands that go with it. This time I savored the true surprise in his eyes when I handed him the deed I had taken in time to prepare. As I know, it was confiscated after the revolt, since it's located at a strategic crossroads between Turfinal and Monliet. I thought it would be a strong gesture to return it to you, but also quite a symbol of trust. After glancing over the signed pledge, Theodore looked at me once more with defiance this time. There's no doubt that my family will appreciate the gesture. I was already basking in my victory when he continued, his voice cold. But as for me, it only makes me see that you're one of those politicians ready to use every dirty trick in the book if it will give you what you want. I have been warned that you're the rightful heir of that snake who used to lead the Manchilet, but now I'm seeing it with my own eyes. So yes, indeed, we will accept your offer and support your coronation, because unlike you, we stick to our word, but you should know you're not fooling me. I'll remain at the palace to make sure you don't stab us in the back as soon as you achieved your goal. In the end, his analysis of the situation, or indeed of my character, wasn't as clever as I thought. I was ambitious. There was no denying that. I wasn't shy about it either, but my desire to make peace was just as sincere. Stay at the castle if you wish. Dukes are welcome here any time, but you'll get eaten alive by the court if you always speak your mind so plainly, my lord. He shrugged consentingly before getting up. Oh, I'm very capable of defending myself, Majesty. I just choose not to use the same venom as you do. You talking shit. That doesn't mean I don't know how to protect myself from its stings. No one liked being called a snake, but even if it was unpleasant to be treated with such hostility by someone whom I had never done anything to, I had gotten what I wanted. I didn't wish to risk making him change his mind by starting an argument. Time will tell. I do hope you'll change your mind about me, but as long as the firm hold up their end of the bargain, you're free to think whatever you like. Don't say that as if you were doing me a favor, Your Grace. Even Empress don't have domain over people's thoughts. And in order to keep me from having the last words of our pointless sparring, he immediately turned on his heel and slammed the door. Furious, I was engaged in deep breathing exercises when Alden walked in. How did things go with Theodore? I shrugged with a sigh. I suppose it was alright. At least the firm should support my coronation. That's all that matters. How about you? Did you manage to convince Leon? As you suspected, he's not inclined to support you. Apparently, he and his brother fear that Claudia will become a second Ishra. Oh, hold on. I raised my eyes to the sky, now hiding my exasperation at these words. As if it were enough for a woman to lead the empire for us to become a matriarchy. Matriarchy. I think that's the word. Have you at least convinced him not to openly oppose the coronation? Yes. As you suggested, I implied that a civil war wouldn't be good for business and that you were easy to manipulate. Was that enough? Yes and no. The man's smarter than I thought. He took this as an opportunity to claim the position of the treasurer. Treasurer, look at him go. Since he believes you're incompetent, he thinks that it's the only way for him to ensure that the country stays on the right track and that the validiers' economical interests are preserved. Upset, I bit my lips while I pondered the implications of such a notion. I didn't want him to stand in my way at every council meeting, but there was no valid reason for me to refuse him this privilege either. I managed before asking for that position. He encouraged the current treasurer to retire. That's correct. A pretty house by the seaside is waiting for him, and now he can't wait to be gone. I imagine we don't have any choice then. I'll summon Leon tomorrow and pretend to be a naive ingenuine who's happy to let him take on big responsibilities. I sighed heavily and Alden stepped towards me with a discreetly amused smile. Are you sure you'll manage? Manage? Playing the easily influenced ingenuine? I sighed, offering him a reassuring smile. It would not be fun having tea with such a conservative man, but there was nothing insurmountable about it. Oh, don't worry about me. I can play dumb when I need to. I spent my whole life appearing less dangerous than I really am. I should be able to pretend just this once. He might have some nasty surprises down the line. However, he nodded with a gleam of pride in his eyes. I trust you then. Okay. Day 25. Damn. Good Grace. News of your nomination to the throne has spread quickly. We received a letter addressed to you from the Queen Maria of Ishra. Damn. My respects, Empress of Claudia. I'm gonna say Claudia. Fuck it. I wish to write you so I could congratulate you on your recent nomination to the throne, as well as offer my condolences to your father's death. Assuming power is a heavy responsibility, but I have been told that you are very capable, and I know that Claudia is in good hands. Claudia and Ishra have always maintained solid diplomatic relations. I hope that they will continue. They prosper under your rule. Up until now, the matriarchs, have always been opposed to non-commercial negotiations, but your nomination has made them curious. We dare to believe that in your presence, my emissaries and myself will emissaries. I think I said no. Fuck it. Will cease to be subjected to patronizing condescensions that your predecessors. Oof, shit. All right, display. That made me. This is bad, bro. And that made my country's past rulers so wary of further interactions. Damn, she wrote a whole thing. God's whispered to me that your ascension to the throne signals the dawn of a new era for the continent. Therefore, I wish to support you as much as I can with the matriarch's assent, and I have decided to mandate a emissary whose role it will be to liaise between our two nations. Her name is Asha Isabis. She is a exceptional woman who I hope will be welcome into your palace as she deserves. With all my sympathy, Maneve, Queen of Ashra. Right. That's wonderful news. I'll need as many allies as possible during my rule. Indeed. Diplomacy is a delicate art, but it's fundamental for Claudia's prosperity. You need to woo the neighboring countries and ensure their good will towards us. Okay. Diplomacy. But we'll talk about that later. For now, we have a coordination to organize. Spring. 36 days. Oh, look at me jumped out! I gotta start taking screenshots, bro. Damn! Hold on. Cause I ain't got a lot of them. What the fuck just happened? Yo, a nigga can't take a screenshot? Oh, that's what I thought. I was finna get mad. Perfect. She tripped out. Dang. The big day has finally come. Impatient yet and nervous, I paced my bedroom while checking my hair and my outfit for the 10th time. What the hell? Nothing was easy as per usual. I suppose to display poise, elegance, and grandeur, all while remaining humble. All right then. Despite all that, I felt ready and dignified, and I only waited to hear from Alexander, who would escort me, since my father wasn't in the state to do so. You know what? He cool, but he goofy though. Like, he all about soldiers and shit. But that nigga pissed me off when one of his own soldiers tried to snitch on us. Like, nigga, get your men together. Fuck. Time was passing by as an inferior. What the fuck? Nah, fuck it. I'm not finna stutter. I'm not finna be recorded stuttering, bro. Slow pace. When he finally knocked on the door and walked into the room, clad in his ceremonial attire, their armor and the pompous cape that went with it didn't suit him. And I suppressed a smile when I saw him squeeze into it. Ready, Your Grace? Almost timidly, I nodded while he politely bowed to let me pass in front of him. Then he followed suit, respectfully walked one step behind. I said ahead. Her Grace. Hold on. I gotta say it. Her Grace of my son, Tefel, the Princess of Claudia, Duchess of Tefel, the Lady of Vermont, blessed by Basan. I closed my eyes and savored this title that I was hearing for the last time. When the herald would announce me next, I would be the Empress of Claudia. Okay. He fine, but he get on my nerves. I think we saw bro without the hood. I think he was T. I ain't gonna hold you. Big ass black nigga. Yeah, all these old niggas. Oh, who they in the back? We gotta see that. Who they in the back? Alright, anyway. I didn't remember having ever seen the throne room this packed. Clearly, when I had been told that the entire castle had gathered here, it had been an exaggeration. To try and hide my nervousness, I walked at a slow pace, my head held high, and my eyes leveled at the throne. But my curiosity slowly got the better of me, and while I tried to remain as dignified as I could, I let my gaze wander discreetly in search of familiar faces. Alden, of course, stood right next to my throne, his face impassive, but his eyes bright enough that I could see the pride reflected in them. Robert. Robert was there too, my future crown already held in his hands. He did his best to appear as imposing as his function required him to be. Alright. In the noble section, I recognized Leon of Vador, surrounded by his family, conversing with the other nobles who were vaguely familiar to me. To my surprise, I also spotted Theodore leaning against a pillar, his gloomy aura seemingly to hold people at bay, so that he wasn't drowning in unknown faces. As I passed by her, Major gave me a smile. I felt her perfume reach me, calling me despite its loud scent. Finally, the last step stretched before me. I suddenly realized that I couldn't hear the crowd's hubbub anymore. The only sound I could hear was my heart beating in the temples. Ceremoniously, I knelt in front of the throne that was still forbidden to me. Soon as I caused to praise whomever had the brilliant idea of placing a small cushion under my knees, the blessings were proceeding at an infuriating slow pace. I listened to them with only half an ear, but I still displayed my most serious and most focused face to honor the solemnity of the ceremony. The day before, Robert had asked me if I wanted to celebrate tradition by taking the name of one of my predecessors, or if I'd rather start my own dynasty. I want to start my own dynasty. There's two reasons. One, I'm finna pop my shit. This my shit now. Second, that the ancestors have left a bad name for Claudia. Like, niggas don't like me, bro. So Melissa oh hell no, I'm keeping my name. I understood the importance of traditions, but I was too much proud of who I was to give up my name and my identity. I wanted to carry it with pride for as long as I would rule. I didn't know the serum by heart, but I knew it would soon be ending, since the whole place seemed to grow livelier. With each passing second, both the crowd and Robert's voice vibrated with renewed excitement until the key moment came. I closed my eyes and braced myself for the weight of the surprisingly light crown that he delicately placed on top of my head. Rise up, Amaya son, the first, de Telefolo, Empress of Claudia, first in her name, Duchess of Terful, Lady of Vermont, chosen by the four and blessed by the bosom. I'm hitting that shit. You shall bow no longer. I'm sorry. Since from this day and until your death, in the name of the gods, I entrust you with the charge of the gilding your subjects in making Claudia shine bright for decades to become. Slowly I rose and turned around to sit on that throne that had been meant for me. Then I opened my eyes to look at the crowd. It suddenly went quiet, and in an almost religious silence settled in for a few seconds. Long live the Empress! Alexander's voice resounded next to me, oddly loud, and as it shattered this almost dreamlike moment, cheers arose from all sides in a spectacular chaos. Oh, we got a bad bee over here! Oh, shit! Hold on, the general, she'll be my best friend. Watch this, bro. The general enthusiasm was contagious, and I caught myself smiling and waving at the crowd with a bit too much vigor. The evening. You look has been okay. The party was in full swing, and I was still beaming. My head was starting to hurt with the instant salutations of people come to pay their respects. You should empty this glass into a flower pot and ask one of the servants to pour you some grape juice instead. Or maybe I had too much wine. If I was being honest, I couldn't remember how many times my glass had been refilled. But one thing I knew, it had never stayed empty. Even if Major was probably right, I pouted. Come on, Major. Am I not allowed to have a bit of fun? It is my coronation day after all. She shook her head with a tender smile. You can't do this precisely because it's your coronation day, sweetheart. Some people might be subtler about it than others, but everyone is watching you and judging you. She was right, and I knew it. I had let myself relax perhaps a bit too much, carried away by my enthusiasm. That acknowledgement didn't stop me from heaving a deep sigh of despair. Well, I didn't come here to coddle you. I know you're perfectly capable of managing this situation. I just wanted to officially congratulate you. No one deserves this title more than you, and you'll make an incredible empress. Her face sparkled with pride and affection, and I left my heart melt under her praise. Her opinion had always mattered a lot to me, and I felt myself go back to the little girl I once was, who was always sought her approval. I hesitated for an instant, but finally let myself gently hug her, making sure not to spill my glass on her in the process. Thank you, Major. Thank you for everything. She kindly stroked my hair, and I stayed in her embrace for a few moments, just long enough to regain control of my emotions, which were threatening to make me cry. She gently patted my back to remind me of my duties, and I finally let her go. My face is now wearing a more neutral expression. Go on, sweetheart. I won't keep you any longer. People are queuing to talk to you. She was right. As much as they tried to hide it, many people stood nearby, waiting for an opportunity to pounce on me as soon as I'd be free. The quickest to the mark was a young woman who I had never seen before. That's Aisha. I forgot her name. One look at the pretty dreadlocks she sported, decorated with small golden gems, told me her background. Magnificent coronation, Your Grace. Her abilities, her accent convinced me I was right, and I flashed her a courteous smile. Thank you, Lady Asha. Asha. Alright. Are you not? She seemed surprised for a second, then her face lit up. Well, I'm flattered you recognize. Wow. What the fuck did I just... Okay, whatever. We're gonna start that one. Well, I'm flattered you recognized me before I could even introduce myself. I don't know who spoke of me to you, but I do hope they say good things. She gave me a small laugh, as if to brush off this pleasantry, which I knew had a much deeper meaning. After all, I had indeed heard a lot about her, both from the Queen Mavia, who had warmly recommended her to me, and from Robert, who had tried to paint her as a ungodly heathen. Wow. And Temperance, the minute she had set her foot in the capital. Damn. Of course, your queen keeps showering you with praise. Then allow me to return her kindness and to tell you how fantastic Maneve is. She'll make a formidable ally. Her familiar way of talking about her ruler makes me quirk an eyebrow, but I didn't mention it. After all, Assyrian customs were much different from ours, and her relationship with her queen was none of my concern. As long as she didn't use the same casual tone while talking about Claudian nobility, there would be no issue. In any case, I do hope Claudia is to your liking, Lady Asha. Unfortunately, I still haven't had the time to visit your beautiful lands and to taste your many specialties. Therefore, the question may be a bit premature. She gave me a smile, but I didn't reach her eyes, which made me see that her answer was an elegant way not to speak ill of the place without lying. Now that it ah, now that it was my castle and my nation, upset. It did upset me a little, but I couldn't be mad at her for finding the place a bit drab. My father had never had a keen eye for interior design. I was about to ask her more futile questions when Robert stepped into the space between us. The gesture was overtly rude, but his position allowed him to act in this manner, and I turned away from Asha to listen to what he had to say. Your Majesty, please forgive me for interrupting, but I must speak with you on the topic of the utmost importance. He barely hid the dirt look he gave Asha. She understood the message and gracefully curtsied. I'll go breathe some fresh air in the gardens if you excuse me, Your Majesty. I mentally took note of where to find her if I wanted to continue our conversation and bowed to her in lieu of goodbye. Then I focused my attention on Robert, wondering with some trepidation if something bad had happened. What's going on? Don't worry, Your Majesty. Nothing that will spoil your night. Just wanted to make sure that you were taking my warnings about the Idran diplomat seriously. Oh yeah, he don't fuck with her. Got it. That's Robert. I forgot. Damn, bro, you don't fuck with the black girl? Damn. I don't find her trustworthy at all. But hey, he's speaking facts. Some niggas from other countries be, you know what I'm saying, be tweaking, bro. She might be a spy. You never know. I had to hold back a sigh it was quite distressing to see him go to such trouble only to interrupt my conversation with a foreign dignitary. Please be comforted. She was inviting me to dance naked in the sea in honor of the snake goddess Sif. I had said that in a playful tone, hoping to lighten the mood, but he looked even more upset. You should take this issue at heart. These people are insidious. They seem nice, you let your guard down, and by the time you realize you've fallen into a trap of a witch, it's much too late. I didn't have the patience to hear more of this, and I took an offended expression. Alright, let's see. I wasn't really religious, but that wasn't the point. My faith further for it was sincere, and I was truly offended. Let's see. I always relied on gods, and I couldn't tolerate anyone implying that my convictions were unsteady, or that I was so easily influenced, especially given the importance of the order with Clydia. Shrouded by the righteous anger, I gave Robert a withering look. Do you believe my faith could be so easily shaken, High Priest? Yeah, nigga. Check your ass, nigga. Taken aback, he immediately softened and apologized profusely. I relaxed in turn. I'm taking note of your worries, and I promise I'll be careful, but you must also understand that you simply cannot say such things about a foreign guest, especially not in public. This could have serious diplomatic consequences. He scowled once more, but didn't say a word, politely bowed and said, I understand, Your Grace. A short silence passed between us before he turned away, mumbling something about prayers he had to make. For the first time of the night, I found myself alone. No one came up to talk to me, perhaps the fear of getting caught in the foul mouth from the tense conversation. I enjoyed that respite and decided to go talk to. We picking. I'm not finna dick right, Isha. I'm finna go talk to my nigga Theodore. That's my little one right there. Okay, look at you in the satin. Alright. He wasn't hard to spot, since he was nonchalantly leaning against the wall in the most deserted corner of the throne room, snobbing the drinks as well as the buffet. A few ladies were ogling him, but they didn't dare come close, and I could understand them. His gloomy face wasn't inviting me to chat with him either, but as Major had reminded me, these kinds of parties weren't meant for my own enjoyment. They too were tools of political game. It mattered to strengthen my bonds with the firm, and even more to show the court that our amenity was now in the past. Lost in thoughts, he didn't seem to see me until he leaned back on the cool marble wall right next to him. The party isn't to your liking, my lord? If he was surprised, he didn't show it, and he raised his eyes to meet mine before scanning me from head to toe. I'm not particularly fond of these displays of vanity, no. That was certainly a take on things, but I didn't give much room to react. I grew thoughtful as I considered what should I say, unsure how to communicate with someone this closed off. The idea struck me when I heard the tune of the waltz floating through the air. I immediately straightened up. You finna go dance with him? You should invite me to dance. He gonna be like, I should not. He's gonna be like, I should not. It was worth it. It was worth it, if only to see his stunned face. In fact, he seemed so shocked that his scowling, gnome-like mask disappeared, making him look surprisingly fragile. I beg your pardon. I beg your finest pardon. You said it yourself. We're in the middle of a show, and appearances are everything. I can see that you're not willing to chit-chat, but people are still watching us. Neither you nor I want the court to think that the crown and the firm are still at odds. So shall we dance? That is, unless you don't know how to dance, of course. Let me get on that ass. He hesitated, but my last comment seemed to tick him off, and he dryly dusted off his jacket. Of course I know how to dance. Will they improve it? This time I didn't leave him a choice and curtsied as if I just accepted his invitation. Oh, we gonna get a scene? You better give me a scene. I ain't gonna hold you. Let me take a screenshot before. Hold on. We got it. If we... Bro, I keep doing that, bro. If we don't get a scene, I'm gonna get mad. Let's see, though. Hold on, let me get ready. Hold on. Let me get ready. All right. Hold on. Let me get that. I was almost surprised to find his fingers pleasantly warm. His behavior was so cold that part of me expected his skin to be freezing, like that of a devilish creature. Out of curiosity, as much as out of deference, we were given much more room than necessary, and other couples stepped aside or completely left the floor to observe us. Okay. My talents as a dancer were all right, but they weren't extraordinary. I felt nervous despite myself as I tried to keep my head high and my back straight, as dignified as possible. You're suddenly very tense for someone who drew a tantrum to be invited to the dance floor. Okay. Of course, he had felt it, and his smile, sincere for once, showed he had fun teasing me. That made me grumble. Just leave properly, will you? Gotta get his guys! Bro, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me. Let me get that screenshot. Oh yeah, we look good together. Yo, yeah. Alright. He wasn't lying. He knew how to dance very well, even. Despite his badly positioned hand a bit too high and not firmly enough to properly lead me, I couldn't anticipate his movements with ease. He was a good guide, and his own gestures were precise and gracious. On one hand, I was glad that everything was working out, but on another, it bothered me a little to acknowledge his merits. Okay, it's either compliment him or make him tighten his hold. He a little loose in the back. We got, hey, if you're trying to dance, you got to do it right. Go ahead, tighten my band. Since he Since he hasn't been shy about teasing me, he deserved to get a taste of his own medicine. Nonchalantly, I grabbed his arm to force him to correct his posture, making sure that his hand held my waist firmly instead of barely grazing it like he had been so far. My gesture seemed to throw him off, and I felt him falter for a moment, threatening to make us lose the perfect rhythm that he had imposed. It gave me the perfect opportunity to strike, and I took my revenge for his petty comments. You're not a bad dancer, but your steps could be a bit neater, my dear. Besides, your hand is still up too high. He muttered in a few fuck it. Fuck it. Alright, I tried. Okay, amongst which I thought I heard a diabolical, but I didn't respond. I was relishing his embarrassment enough to spare him further comments. Besides, it took all my focus not to let myself savor my triumph too openly. Neither of us opened our mouths until the last measure played. We finally separated in an elegant curtsy under the scattered applause. Well, I thank you for the moment. I won't be keeping you any longer. I see you're having quite some success. Out of the corner of my eye, I glanced at the young ladies who have gotten closer and now have waved their fans like while potentially oogling the Lord of Farm. Perhaps they have more respect for etiquette than I did, since none of them dared to accost him and openly ask for a dance. Still, he sighed and glared at me, apparently holding me responsible for the sudden attention he was receiving. I ruthlessly abandoned him to his admirers and was surprised to see him play the part of the courteous gentleman after all. All smiles, all polite comments. Clearly, I was the only one for whom he refused to make such an effort. 37. Alright. Your Grace, as you surely know, an essential task that comes with your role as a ruler is to listen to your subjects' petitions. They have accumulated since your father's death and even before. He was never very fond of that duty. Now that you've been crowned, you'll need to dedicate them as a fair share of your time. It's especially important because the other advisors and myself had gotten used to lodging petitions on matters that require your attention but do not fit into the council agenda. Explain it to me. All this very new to me. I won't say no further explanations. Petitions are matters that require your informed judgment, whether they pertain to trials, grant requests, or other various issues. The other advisors and myself are usually tasked with submitting them, but we may also pass on requests coming directly from your subjects. I divide them into two stacks, urgent affairs and current affairs. Of course, my urgent affairs must be attended to as soon as possible. I've added an explanation to the stack for more clarity. As long as all urgent affairs have been dealt with, I won't give you any current affairs so as you do not distract yourself with futile matters. As with everything that requires your input, petitions have made Petitions may necessitate whatever. Okay, of certain resources, but don't forget that they can also offer opportunities. Good decisions can come out to be quite lucrative. Finally, you must keep in mind that improving the living conditions of your people will ensure their affection for you and in the long run will contribute to the realm's prosperity. Is that clear? Yes, it is. All right. Perfect. I suggest that you deal with one of mine first. It's an issue that has been on my mind for a while. He took a moment to rummage through the items on the table before handing me a sealed parchment roll. Here you go. Well then, I'll let you study that on your own and go about your business. Feel free to go through more of them so that you can grow familiar to the process. You will be informed of their outcome in due time. All right, here we go. All right. Even if the crown is yours, I'll be wary of your bastard brothers. For some, then an illegitimate, ill. What the fuck? I know I can. Man, fuck this word. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm getting tired of this shit. A little ill. Oh, what the fuck? Nah, I give up. I ain't gonna hold you. I can say that word, but this shit pisses me off. Son is far better than a woman, and I wouldn't want the nobility to use this excuse so they can get rid of you the first chance they get. I've tasked the Master of Murmurs with investigating them. At the moment, it seems that most of them live a modest life as a craftsman or servants, but the simplest minds can be the easiest to sway, especially since you haven't established any bond with them, which means that nothing will stop them from betraying you. I suggest dealing with the issues in a permanent way. Damn, for real. We ain't gotta kill the niggas. Damn. I don't know. I think we ain't gotta kill them. Them niggas are chilling. Let's see. You're right. It's best not to take any risks. Though I love these methods, I can't risk civil war or coup. I've given too much of myself to end. Okay, have them assassinated. I think that's crazy. As long as they haven't done anything to me, I refuse to let paranoia get the best of me and have them assassinated. However, I do recognize my half-brothers are a threat, and I believe we should definitely keep an eye on them. Assign spies to each of them and decide how to react if they... That's a good answer right there. I refuse to be a tyrant like my father. Deliberate and trouble and violence, so I'm going to take the opposite approach and I'll make them happy. Oh no. Middle one. That's easy. Next! Your Grace. All our spies are in place, and for the moment they haven't noticed anything suspicious. Following the first report, I decided to set up increased surveillance about Aaron Villas, who appears to be having a fling with the daughter of the local lord. Oh shit. This nigga spelling tea. And the Yakin Lacordion, as he is the court Viscerous court. I'll keep you updated on the situation evolution. Master of Murmurs. Alright, cool. Let's do some petitions. Alright, Your Grace. As you know, tradition requires that every emperor have an immense mausoleum built in their memory with a gigantic statue in their likeness adoring their tomb. Your father's body is currently in a coffin within the Ashrok's great temple, and so that pilgrims may come pray over him, but it is high time to build him a tomb befitting of his glory. High Priest Robert. Even if I didn't hold my father to heart, I wouldn't impose the tradition or the construction of magnificent. I will be overseeing it. Like every emperor, he'll have his mom, but I'd rather spend. Nah, we don't build him a statue. It was our father. You know what I'm saying? We didn't like him. Like, he cool. Even if the emperor was not very much liked, it was the right thing to do. Tradition cannot be ignored, and the people's favor towards the royal family has been strengthened. True, the mausoleum is not particularly striking, but no one has had a bad word to say about it either. Cool. Alright, bet. Let's do another petition. Alright. Good morning, Your Grace. In need of support, I take liberty of writing to you despite the borders that separate us, hoping that you will not take offense. Following a painful illness, my father, the Grand Duke Edgar de Belleris, recently died. May his soul rest in peace. As his only direct heir, I would normally receive his title and lands, but some cousins decided otherwise. Nigga, I got you, bro. Since I'm not married, these dear cousins argue that there must be a patriarch for the family to run smoothly. Of course, my father's titles and possessions are all they care about. I've read so many fucking mangas, bro, of this shit happening. I'm not letting that shit slide. Hey, if you ask for my help, I got you, nigga. I fear I cannot protect what's mine from their shenanigans. Your ascension to the throne, despite criticism, is an inspiration to me. That's why I took the liberty of asking you for your help today. I know that Clydia's influence in my country is limited due to the animosity between our two nations, but I have no doubt that you are a resourceful woman that will be able to offer me valuable advice, if not involve yourself in my behalf. I can't involve myself, but I can give you some advice, nigga. I'll tell you what. You gotta do it yourself, bro. Let's see. See the options. I understand your position too well. It should, in my opinion, carries a little weight. Frustration, but everyone knows how. So your country, if your country's request to, if you're, it would be much more. It would give you much time to firm up your position. Okay. I kind of like that one. Kind of like it. Beyond the complex laws of inheritance, if often those who have means to assert their rights, when they show strength, will convince the emperor that you are. Huh? Yo, you trying to threaten their fucking emperor? Oh yeah, like that fucking makes sense over some small shit like this. This nigga not even your country, and you doing all that. I got you. I got you, nigga. I got you, nigga. Your Grace, I thank you for the wishes of success, as it seems that no mishap from my cousins managed to reach His Majesty Justine III. I went myself to the palace to defend my cause, and since there was no one to contest, my request was accepted. Got you, my nigga. See, bro. Oopsie, got in the trash. See, I got you, bro. I was able to recover the title and the lands that were rightfully mine. Good shit. My cousins have now become very kind in hope of encouraging of a few favors, so I will be able to protect my inheritance. He gonna help us along the line. I feel it. He probably would. As my late father wished. As a token of my gratitude, I'm sending you a shipment of marble. I hope it'll come. I hope it'll help you in return, respectfully. Good shit. Okay. Day 39. I was truly glad to be an empress. Oh, was I supposed to do other shit? I was truly glad to be an empress now, but as I expected, I hadn't had a single moment to myself since the coronation. There was an endless and continuous stream of people paying their respects to me, and more or less futile issues to resolve. Even if I was happy, even if I was happy to finally be able to exercise my power legitimately, I also felt like I needed a break. Thus, after taking care of most of the urgent matters, I decided to have a moment to relax in. Bedroom, garden, or library? Not gonna lie. I'll go library. Cause garden. Yeah, I don't want to talk to her. I was finna go library off the choice, like. But anyways, what if I went to the bedroom? Man, fuck Alexander. I don't talk to that nigga. I do need to talk to her. Do I though? Don't want to let. Hey, I'm trying to progress with Theodore. I'm going to the library. I had always appreciated the serene atmosphere in that place. It seemed that it was the ideal spot for a break. Well, as long as I didn't get tangled up in the books of military theory. Knowing myself, I was very capable of falling into a trap and staying here until midnight taking notes. It was the best if I restrained myself to picking a novel or some poems, even if books of either sort were scarce. That way I could truly let my thoughts run free. After all, it had been a while since I last read. You know, it's between these two. I do love a good love story. Yes, it had been too long since I had read a novel full of passion and intrigue like The Rose of Turfol. How many times have I devoured that book in my younger years before my age forced me to into more academic pursuits? I missed it all. The idea of my upcoming read put me into a good mood, but stopped dead in my tracks when I spotted Theodore engulfed in a book. Even since, ever since we had met, every time we see each other, I felt his gaze on me, studying me with severity, as if he was Marad's himself coming to judge me and decide upon my spot in heaven. In fact, I had gotten so used to seeing him endure and scowling face that I was surprised to find him looking quite serene. In truth, his features weren't puckered up in sternness, it was rather elegant. For once, he looked at ease, and I didn't have the heart to bother him. Since I had come here myself in search of some peace and quiet, I decided to leave him alone. With all that softness in the world, I tried to close the door behind me, only hear the blasted thing creak as if I had opened the hatch to hell. Disturbed with his reading, Theodore lifted up his nose from the book and stared at me. His expression immediately turned into a frown. "Hello, Your Grace." Holding back a sigh, I approached him with a polite smile. "Hello, my lord of phone." Now that I had been spotted and he had greeted me as much as well stay and chat, even if we had found an agreement, I was still wary of Farm's intentions as regarded my throne. It couldn't hurt to learn a bit more about him. The book that fascinated him seemed to offer a perfect topic of conversation, but I couldn't read the letters engraved in the leather from where I stood. "What is that book you're so deep into?" He abruptly closed the book and placed it on his knees in such a way that I absolutely couldn't read the title. "That's none of your business." Damn, nigga, how you in my library and you telling me I can't know what book you reading? Get the fuck on. His attitude was exasperating, but I chose to give him a teasing smile. "Oh, were you by any chance reading an indecent book?" Everything in my tone suggested I was joking, but he seemed to take it quite badly and sat upright in his expression upset. "It's very improper of you to suggest such a thing. It's very improper of you to have so little sense of humor." "My sense of humor is perfectly intact." "So you're questioning my etiquette?" "I never said anything of the sort, but what if I did?" I took a deep breath and held back the scathing retort about to escape my lips. After all, I was the one who had started this conversation, hoping to smooth our relationship, but even if I would have paid good money to see him lose that superior and smug expression he liked to display. In any case, it makes sense that you still have things to learn. You weren't ready for this. What you talking about? Oh, okay. He said that nonchalantly, almost sympathetically. And I couldn't tell if he was trying to be friendly or if it was yet another elaborate provocation. In any case, he had managed to rile me up. "I beg your pardon? You heard me. Stop acting as if you were a powerful hare who can carry the entire nation on his shoulders. I'm not a fool. You've been kept away from the court for half your life. In truth, you don't have the slightest clue of the mess you've gotten yourself into." "Are you talking shit? Alright. Man, fuck that nigga. We gonna take it. Hey, give me another chance. I'm taking a break off of this. Fuck it. I'm talking to Asha. You've led a privileged life without any difficulties, away from the plots and issues of your kingdom. Now that your father's dead, you've taken the first chance you had to steal his crown like a vulture. Okay. I'm sure the throne was still warm when you decided to sit on it." He wasn't wrong about that last point, but I couldn't tolerate his half-baked insults any longer. "Be careful with your words. You're getting dangerously close to royal treason. My father was assassinated abruptly. I didn't have the luxury to hesitate, and I was only filling my duties. Although I was seething inside, I had to stay firm and to make sure not to raise my voice too much. It would only have discredited me. Your father was assassinated because he was greedy for power, because he was cruel, because over time he had made too many enemies to count. You're his flesh and blood. What could possibly convince me that you're not like him? That you're truly acting out on duty? What was that crux of an issue? He thought I was like my predecessors. The simple idea of that makes me nauseous. Have you ever met him at least? I seriously doubt that. If that was your case, your insolence would have had you thrown in a prison on the spot. And you've not in the right. That you're not in a cell right now should be enough to demonstrate the difference between my father and I. But I imagine that it'll be hard for you to believe whatever I say. It's extremely difficult, even impossible, to make someone who's already formed an opinion change their mind. I admit I'm disappointed in you. I thought you were an educated man. But clearly, you're backwards enough to judge me on the blood that flows through my veins rather than on my actions. As for my privileged life, what do you know of it? You've never been a woman in a world ruled by men. The Empress is in a world of kings. You're a beloved son, destined for birth to become the head of your family. On the other hand, I've been kept away from my birthright and had to fight even to get the tiniest sliver of power. And now you dare to tell me I'm privileged. I had managed to keep my composure, but anger and sarcasm vibrated powerfully in my voice, and that appeared to shut him up. I think you're feeling threatened by my rule, but this can make you feel But if this makes you feel any better, right now I don't intend to waste my energy on people who already have everything, especially not on the account of resentment that predate my birth. The changes that I'll make, I will make them for my people, for the farmers who work my lands, for the women and children who will forge the future of the empire. Reminding myself of my own convictions had calmed me down a bit, and I felt my body relax while I continued. Out of my heart, I did what I had to do. Think what you like, but I never wanted that crown. I know what it can do to people. Nevertheless, my mother always taught me that as a noble, you have the responsibility towards others. That's why when I realized that this was my destiny, I always prepared myself as best I could to take that place with dignity. You think I'm naive, that I believe ruling is easy, even though wearing the crown still won't stop people like you from questioning my legitimacy. I know it's hard, Theodore, because things have never been easy for me. You clearly know nothing of my life, and yet you don't hesitate to criticize it. Before you presume to tell me I have a lot to learn, you should consider expanding your own knowledge. Clock this shit. Even if I had calmed down, I still felt out of breath and my heart beat too loudly on my chest. We walking out. Rather proud of my triad, I was going to gracefully turn around and leave him there astounded, but he recovered much faster than I thought. With a peaceful gesture, he put the book down he had been holding on his knees onto the table, and he got up so he could better take a bow. I may have underestimated the hurdles you have overcome in the effort you have made. Oh, you apologize. Oh, thank you. I had expected him to admit he was wrong. Rather than attacking me again, I stayed quiet. Things haven't been easy, as you implied, for me either, Majesty. The life in extra. Ooh, what the fuck is that? Extra. Ikshar. Go Ikshari. Is harder than you think, but I suppose it would be hypocritical of me to act offended now. His tone had softened, but I was still on the defense, nothing less. I tried to make my voice sound as neutral as possible. I suppose you're right. I believe in hard work, in what you earn through sweat and tears. Even if I'm still unsure of your abilities, you're right. I should at least give you a chance to prove your worth. I rule with dignity because this where lies my duty as an empress. Not because I believe I have everything to prove to anyone, especially to you, of course. Since I didn't want to throw fuel on the fire, I didn't reply, and he bowed before leaving the library, accompanied by the unsufferable creaking of the door. Let's get some politics. Let's get some politics. Let's see. Let's see. All right, let's see. We need some more money. All right, yeah, we need more money. Damn. We'll keep it. All right, let's see. Great. I have discovered that someone has placed a pagan talismans in the palace. One was even found in your living quarters. What the fuck? I do not think that these amulets hold any sort of power, but the intentions are quite real. Behind these talismans, we have, however, stayed indiscreet. We will await your orders before. Kill them! Kill them, bitches! I can't curse. This could give us an opportunity to learn more about the situation. Okay. But Alexander, you just a dumbass. So I ain't gonna hold you. I don't trust you. Let's see the options. Alright. Let's see these damn options. Alright. I don't want unnecessary bloodshed. Find an excuse to fire her. Fuck no. She already placed the talismans, bro. It's over with. And tell her that she shouldn't come near me in the future if she doesn't want the order to find out about her little secret. No. You're right. We can't let this opportunity to gather information pass us. Keep a discreet eye on her. She might lead us to other. Okay. We might learn more about their intentions towards me. Okay. Arrest her and interrogate her in the dungeon on her intentions and her practices. She ain't gonna say shit. She don't. I bet you she the type to. You know how them motherfuckers be killing themselves before they can. That might be it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's see what happens. Alright. We are actively keeping an eye on Veranda, but for the time being, we have not learned anything. Apart from the few ridiculous and harmless rituals, her life is just as mundane as it is boring. And it does not seem to be meeting, and she does not seem to be meeting with other pages or actively working to bring out your downfall. Okay. They'll deal with it when we have to deal with it. Alright, Your Highness. An important expedition is currently being set up. It will be led by the famous explorator Ohio Smith. Accompanied by two notable scholars, the naturalist Jean Baspet and the cartographer John. Their goal is to set sail for a far end of the Belclose Ocean so they can uncover what hides at the world end. The scientific expedition will allow us to detail our maps and to research the fauna, the floral, and the geography of these new horizons. The scholars are very interested in this expedition, and many patrons have already contributed to it. This is why I humbly ask for your participation. How much money they want? Ooh! That sounds reasonable. Mm. Grace, your Grace, the expedition is up and ready to go. May Bassin watch over them. The omens are good. I'm sure that the expedition will be a success. High Priest Robert. Alright. Spring, day 52. Alright. The days have passed by in a blur, all similar to each other. New petitions to manage, new events to participate in, influential people to flatter. I had never had any illusions. I have always known that my life as an empress would be mainly paced by paperwork and diplomatic discussions, but sometimes it got a bit much. I had to settle for little victories, and sometimes I caught myself hoping for something, anything to disrupt my day. Unfortunately, nothing seemed to be on the cards. Your Grace, would you have a few moments to spare? I like that. He's not better than Theodore, but he's still, you know what I'm saying? He's second. I'll give him second. Startled out of my daydreaming, I looked at the unfinished letter that's in front of me and pushed it aside to give my full attention to the Master of Murmurs, who removed his hood after closing the door. Of course, I'm all ears. Today, a wandering caravan coming from Vargas was attacked by bandits. While they were crossing the Elm Bridge, their merchandise was stolen. Damn. The guards were killed. Damn. And the people in the caravan were now being held hostage to be ransomed. By the four, that's awful. I was now used to being one who must find the solutions, and I immediately started going through them in my mind. That bridge was a strategic location. It should have been better protected. We'll send men over there, and I'll ask Major to send hers as well. Her men are close by. They should be able to secure the area and limit disruptions to that heavily trafficked commercial road. And put a bounty on these bandits. We have to find the hostages and deal with the captors as decisively as possible. Decisively as possible. Patiently, he let me finish, but as I saw his expression, I realized there's more to it. I frowned. Is there something in particular that I should know about the caravan? The Master murmurs. Softly, he nodded. Amongst the captured people is one of my agents. Oh, shit. A master of spying and infiltration. He had been in Vargas for a few months to keep an eye on the family of nobles, and he was urgently coming back with some vital information. Does it have to do with my father's assassination? Do you think Vargas is guilty of it? No, at first glance, there's no connection. Your father's assassination is still under investigation, even if I have to admit that at the moment we're somewhat stalled. Then what is it about? That's precisely the issue. I don't know. Oh shit. Apparently it was crucial information. My agent had always been excessively prudent. He feared that his mail might be intercepted. And therefore, I'm getting tired. Intercepted, and he's reluctant to send me written information, even if our messages are always coded. So you're telling me that one of our spies who infiltrated Vargas has been captured not far from the border while he was coming back with information of the utmost importance that you have no clue what it is. Finally, now that the four had decided to grant my wish of a little more excitement, I started regretting wishing for it in the first place. The situation did bode well. That's correct. Like you, I do find this coincidence suspicious. But we can't be sure of anything. If they just wanted to cover their tracks, they could have simply killed him right there and then, as well as the guards. Maybe they just got rid of the body. We can't exclude that possibility, but we've received a demand of ransom addressed to his family. Like the other four hostages, I don't know. Well, in any case, we have to clear up the situation quickly. Do we have other agents stationed in Vargas who could try and learn what our spy knows? A few, yes, but I'm afraid that they won't be discreet enough if they approach the same people. Decision is yours to make. Oh, shit. Damn, it's only two? Fuck. It's far too dangerous, Will. We better play it safe. The agent should stay. Current business. If we send some more niggas, that might harm the other hostages. Far too dangerous, we'll play it safe. I think they ain't gonna kill him. So I'm gonna go the free route. Let's see what happens. I think it'll be safer choice indeed, Your Grace. Even if I'm dying to find out what's it all about. What shall we do with the bandits? I took the time to think and weigh my options before making decisions. Do we have any information whatsoever on these bandits? If they are who they pretend to be, they've been active all over the territory and always follow in a pattern, but we know little about them. For the time being, we have no idea of their whereabouts and who the leader is. Are they trustworthy? I mean, once a ransom have been paid, are they truly released the hostages? So far, yes, they kept their word. Okay. We can't continue letting these bandits live on our land, even if they're known for being trustworthy. I absolutely don't trust them, and I don't want to pay ransoms all over the place. Pretend to pay the ransom and trap them. At least we'll have a few bandits out of our hands if our agents. Let's see. Alright, for the time being, we have no proof that this was a setup. We have to believe that at the very least, our agent is still alive. If they're known for keeping their promise, the best course of action is to pay the ransom without further discussion. I might go with that one. I believe that the situation is far too uncertain to engage resources. If it's a trap, we lose more lives. If I refuse to finance these bandits any further, even though it costs me, the only thing that we can do is have faith in this agent and his abilities. If he is as talented as you claim, he should be able to give the slip to the handle band. But he might be. That is true. Nigga, you hired this motherfucker. How the hell he get kidnapped by some damn bandits? And plus, if he's good as he says, we'll donate the money, but then we'll get some niggas to whoop their ass. Watch this. Going the money route. Very well, Majesty. I'll send one of my men to pay the ransom. Let's hope we can trust these bandits. I mean, why would you trust bandits? But at the same time, I don't want none of my people to get killed. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Okay, you great says this. Even if it disgusts me to finance these vile bandits, the ransom has been paid without any issues. We managed to get our agent back. Information that he holds is of crucial importance. You should meet him in person to hear all the details. All I can say is the situation is serious. See? If I would have fucked up, we would have not got this information. Let's see what it is. Unable to sleep, I got up to take in a bit of fresh air at the window. As much as I told myself there was no point in speculating before I got the spy's report, I couldn't stop foreboding I felt. And I was about to be proved right. Oh, shit. Ah! Okay. Good shit. Just a good little demo. Damn, that's crazy. Damn, for real, that's how you gonna do me? You know what? I got my little dancing scene. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, get this shit done. Get this shit done right here. I want to play the full version. Get this shit done, alright? I want to play. God damn it. Man, damn. For real. That's how they gonna do it. That's crazy, bro. I was enjoying myself. Shit, how long we been on? Shit. I'm gonna stop it right here, and then I'm gonna spin the wheel again so we can play another game. Cause nigga, I'm up. I ain't gonna. All right, take a pause, take a 30-minute break. You know what I'm saying? It's 8 o'clock. Go eat some dinner, nigga. If you already ate dinner, go get your little snack. You know what I'm saying? And be back, and I'll have the stream booted up, and we'll play another game and spin the wheel.